we will try to understand today a new concept called scientific thinking. What is science? Which has a process defined is called science. Anything which can be replicated under same temperature pressure. If one person has achieved something and if he can explain it in a process, every other person can repeat the same. This is called science. We will try to understand a concept today to understand more in depth of what is scientific thinking. I always wanted to quote examples of Buddha because he is a very scientific person. And a living Buddha today, Brahmarshi Patriji, is an absolutely living Buddha and he's a great scientist. How? Let me quote an example. Buddha had a very close friend, and in a day, Buddha's close friend, he's not yet become a Buddha at that time of period, so we can call him as Siddhartha. So, when Siddhartha and his close friend, very close friend, are going by on the road, there's another person who is not a friend of either Siddhartha or his friend. So, there started a quarrel. Siddhartha by nature is a very friendly person, but still he hated that person because he just avoided that person. That would be a right term. When Siddhartha's friend and that enemy started fighting each other, even with the swords, Siddhartha peeped in the center and said, "Hey guys, stop! Why are you fighting? Why are you so vigorous? I have never seen you people behaving in such a vigorous fashion." But both people who are fighting, they are out of the mind. They are not in a position to listen what others are saying because they have been totally in a very angry state. And when Siddhartha peeped in and said, "Stop guys," they said, "You better get out of my way. You don't interfere in our quarrel." Siddhartha got shocked. His close friend, in his very angry state, such words from both of them, he did not understand. But he is a very scientific fellow. He stepped back and he closed his eyes and started looking into what is exactly happening between these two guys. When he started looking into them, the closed eye, he could see a lot of darkness in both of them, overcovered them with full of anger and frustration. That moment, he saw the same state in two persons and he realized one great thing. Who is friend? Who is enemy? If same thing exists in both of them, why do we need to define enmity and friendship? Everybody are equal. The reason why I quoted this example is Buddha is a very, very scientific fellow. How? In a normal state, a person will only support his friend. Whether he's right or wrong, you always tend to support your friend. But this guy, he looked exactly what is happening there. And he analyzed the situation, then he found the truth. This is called scientific process. Now, we will try to understand the 4-step process given by Brahmarshi Patriji, who is a living legend and a living perfect Buddha, enlightened Maitreya Buddha. Patriji said there are 4 stages in life. Experiment is one. Second stage is experience. Third stage is analysis, and fourth is finding out the truth. Supposedly, if you hear from someone saying, I don't want to do anything, I don't have time, and it's okay, I believe you. No, these are very, very unscientific words. There's no science in it. If there's some situation you give to the same person who is a scientist, he will say, is it? Okay, let me experiment and find out the truth. This is how a scientific person thinks. And a non-scientific person says, it's okay, maybe. Okay, I believe you. All such words comes from a very unscientific man. So, a person, how much ever knowledge he has, whatever state of enlightenment he has, still, if he is ready to do experiment at any level in his life, he is first of all called Buddha. How? Buddha means a person with perfect buddhi. So, he will not stop his learning. He will always keep growing. A scientific person will first get into experimentation. Okay, how did he do that? Okay, this is the procedure, right? Let me try it. The first step is called experimentation. Without experimenting, the second stage will never follow in your life. Hearing from others will give you some information. It will never give you complete knowledge. How do you get a complete knowledge? Complete knowledge will follow from an experimentation. When you experiment something, obviously you will get experience. There's no way you will not get an experience. You will get an experience. So, a scientific person will first get into something, he will do some experimentation, and then he gets the experience. So, a lot of people, when they share their experience, they share how I got this experience. In any field, whether it may be cooking, whether it may be cricket, whether it may be sports or spirituality, anything. Experience is an experience. But what are we trying to understand today here is spiritual experiences. Supposedly, a person wants to experience something. First thing he has to do is experiment. Experiment what? Experiment his own breath. Sitting with closed eyes and observing his breath, and his experimentation. Then follows experience. But after this, these two things, first two stages, experimentation and experience, will follow each other very smoothly. But there is the next stage called analysis. Analysis of what you have experienced. You have to analyze your experiences. That is a must. You need not ask someone on your behalf to analyze your experiences, because the experience which came out of you will also have an analysis behind it. People go and ask others, this is my experience, and can you tell me what is the meaning of this? Absolutely nonsense. And something came inside from you, the answer is also inside from you. But how do you get that analysis? It's very simple. Keep sharing your experience. The more you share your experience and closely observe, you will get perfect analysis. I have done that. Because the moment you get an experience, your mind is completely filled of only that experience. When you share with someone the same experience many times, your mind settles down. It will give some empty space for the analysis. You have prepared a nice food and you are hungry. When you are hungry, you will not analyze it. First you will have it. Once you have the food, then you analyze. Because there is some emptiness now. The food is already gone in. You analyze how is the taste. And only when you analyze, you will go into the next stage. So when you get an experience, instead of trying to analyze it, keep sharing that experience with the right people. With the same thought processed people who can understand you. Whether they listen, whether they don't listen, don't care. Keep sharing your experiences. By and by, when you keep sharing your experiences, and when you hear such experiences from others, your analysis will follow it. It is not conclusions. There is a difference between conclusions and analysis. With a limited knowledge, you say, okay, this is the analysis. Okay, I'm done. No. Analysis will also have different levels. Analysis also have very different levels. The more experience you gain, the more knowledge you gain, the depth of the analysis will vary from time to time. Experience may be same. When you observe each and every moment, you will get analysis at some point of time. But you have to be open to receive that analysis. When you receive that analysis, similar to experiment will follow, will slowly lead to experience. And analysis will slowly lead to what? Truth. You will understand what is truth. Okay. Buddha, when he analyzed what is happening between these two guys, not with his mind, but with a closed eye and through his third eye, he analyzed what is happening here. He found out the truth. How? Only when he analyzed. If somebody gives you a spiritual discourse, what are they giving you? It is the truth which they found. So if you want to understand the truth, you have to go through this complete stage. Otherwise it is not possible. So let me summarize the 4 stages of a scientific, I can say the spiritual scientific thinking. Experiment it. You will get an experience out of it. Share your experience so you will get the analysis out of it. And then when right analysis comes, the truth will smoothly follow.